Hi, my name is Robert Burt, and this is my final for mobile forensics. Um, you're gonna have to bear with me. I'll try to make this 10 minutes, hopefully over 10 minutes. Uh, Probably gonna say a lot. I have tried over the years to stop whenever I don't hear something, but I've always filled the space with I saw that you're excited for Lion King coming out. I hope it's good. Uh, I'm not gonna go see it, but that's because I have watched the cartoon version probably 100,000 times. I had a teacher in high school, Miss Braxton. She loved it, and it seemed like every 2 weeks we watched The Lion King for 2 days straight. We watched the first hour like on a Thursday, and the second hour on a Friday. So, and my daughter was just in the Lion King musical for her middle school last year. It was really good. I was impressed with it. But back to my final. Um, Mobilite or Mobile Edit Forensics Pro. It was really nice. It was kind of a quick, down and dirty way of getting the information. Um, I like the way it was structured. It was really easy to read. Uh, as far as the reports and everything, I thought it, kind of tidied it up. Uh, with Paraben, it was definitely a lot more in depth. It, it shocked me on how much stuff that was actually stored in the phone. Uh, I did feel like the software, I mean, I guess for what it does, it has to be pretty robust, but it seemed like it took a lot to load. Um, I had some problems with VMware. I had used the VMware before, and uh, it wouldn't let me reinstall for a 30-day trial, so I could use the Paraben. So I ended up missing that one assignment, but I formatted a computer and got Paraben back online. I was wondering if maybe next time you can just, give out the software versus having a virtual machine. Um, it definitely took up a lot of space, and I didn't think about it. I mean, when we did the Apple acquisition, it seemed, it was all right there on the desktop for the homework. But then when I had to do my phone itself, it definitely started making me think about how much space a case file would actually take. Um, like I got 16 gigs of memory on my phone, and then after that I got a 32 gig SD card, and then so that was a lot of space that it required. At the end of it, when we added the cloud, I didn't think about how much, like, it goes out and downloads everything on Facebook, your pictures, your contacts, your friends, your profile. Uh, I definitely, I guess I'd never really, I mean, I knew you could get access to all that information, but with Paraben, uh, it surprised me on how thorough you could go through it. Um, like the iPhone exercise where we had to research for a guy's address and dig down to find proof for abuse and things like that. I thought it was really impressive, and as far as which of the two I would prefer an acquisition process, really part of me thinks both of them would really complement each other. I like the speed and efficiency that Mobile Edit Forensics Pro used. I mean, I think it would kind of give you an idea of where to start looking, and I think you could dig a lot deeper with Paraben. If I just had to pick one, it would have to be Paraben because I would want the in-depth look so I could find any information that uh, wasn't in there. Um, as far as the challenges and limitations of device acquisitions, um, I think a lot of it's got to do with the way they can obtain the device. Uh, we in the class we looked at a lot of different laws that, whether we can get a fingerprint or whether we get a password. And I noticed when I was doing Paraben and Mobile Edit, um, you had to have access to their passwords. You had to have access to their um, the inside of their phone because you had to turn on USB debugging. Um, and then at the same time, you had to allow the software to install software on the phone. Now, I mean, it wasn't, I think it was more of a temporary installation, but it's not. At that time, I felt like, you were changing the phone, and that you could compromise the data. Um, uh, uh, let's see, plant obsolescence. I, with some of the older phones and everything like that, uh, I just saw a thing on Facebook the other day that said a cover for one of the old Nokia bricks. Uh, why did you have a protective cover over it? And it was the protective floor. I thought that was pretty funny. Um, that that kind of opened my eyes because at what time, I mean, if they do a search in a house and they have old phones and everything, um, uh, like the guy I read about with a laptop that he found that was an old laptop, and he got off because of the way they did the forensics. Whew, I'm starting to drift off. I'm sorry. Trying to make sure I maintain the time. Uh, one of the topics we talked about this semester was global digital dependence, and I hadn't really thought about it before, but I don't really consider me to be one of those people that are on my phones all day. Like, I mean, some days I may be on it a little bit, some days I may be on it a lot, and then some days I may not even worry about it. There's been plenty of times that my girlfriend's walked into the house and said, "Why didn't you answer my phone?" And I never moved it from beside the bed. It stayed upstairs the whole time. So, uh, but when I'm at work, that's a whole nother thing. Um, used to be really nice. The company that we used to work for, um, we had a company-wide Wi-Fi network where we could log in, and there wasn't really any restrictions. We could do pretty much whatever. Uh, they did have some guys complaining about they had definitely watched Netflix for a full 12 hours straight. But I know now when I'm out on a call and I'm trying to repair something, you get you get dependent that you can have the instruction manual right there in front of you in a matter of seconds just by a Google search, and that definitely helps. But with the new company that came in, they kicked all of us off the Wi-Fi network, so there's no guest Wi-Fi network, and it takes forever for me to get an instruction manual so I can try to try to fix the problem. I mean, we work in the middle of nowhere. Cell phone reception is not that great, and you really realize how valuable that tool could be. Um, I have to walk away from where the problem's at. I have to go find a computer. I have to sit down. I have to do a search, and then I have to try to memorize as much as I can, and then run back and forth when it's so much easier where I could just pull it up on my phone and then just kind of scroll through the instructions and see the instructions. I mean, see the troubleshooting guides. Uh, I would imagine it would almost take people um, losing access to their phone, kind of like me, for them to appreciate how dependent you can be on it. Um, because I didn't think I was very dependent on it at all, but I get aggravated now when I can't just readily look something up. Uh, well, it's been a good semester, and I hope everybody does well. And I enjoyed your class, and good luck.